Alright, hello everyone. So today, starting a new game. It's The Forgotten City. It's a game I heard about um, when we're talking about the 12 minutes game, the time loop game. I don't know if it's a spoiler that there is a time loop here, but that's basically all I know. It's about that it's created by a person who made a Skyrim mode of the similar concept, but now it's like bigger and stronger. And I think it was in 2016 when it got released. It's pretty old now, but I was interested to check it out. I like the time loop concept, and I haven't really played all that much of the games with it. Yeah, I think I need to fix the sound here. Now tell me if the sound is alright or not for you. And let's begin. It's a mystery adventure with multiple endings. It rewards thoughtful conversation and exploration, not brute force. The fate something.
Hey, you're alive. When I dragged you out of the river, I thought you were never gonna wake up. I checked your pockets for ID, a phone, maybe. I hope you don't mind. But all I found was some loose change. So, wanna tell me who you are?
Alright, so far the textures and animation is not great. It's gonna be harder to immerse yourself, but it's an old game, I guess. And is it like Assassin's Creed? You just like in the present day, but then somehow transported to the Rome? Why is it 2 heads? Oh, body type. Oh, that's character creation. What? I don't know. What is this? I don't know what the body type is gonna be. Is this a woman? Because it has bigger nails? Is that a woman? I have to guess so. There's usually two choices. And I like how in our time now nobody wants to write select your gender. Now it's body type only. It's kind of silly, but yeah. Yeah, I know. I better be a man. Hardest difficulty. I mean, black man in the Rome. Is that going to influence anything? Sure, let's go. A name. What? Logicus. Stupidus.
Well, it's It's nice to meet you. And I'm sorry to pry, but any idea why you were floating down the river? What's the last thing you
Down, down, down by the river. If you were on a covert mission, would you just say to a stranger that? I don't think so. It's not very considerate conversation option. Okay, so that gives us some kind of perk. Archaeologist, years of studying history give you occasional insights into the ancient world. Well, this seems like a unfair advantage. Soldier, you have a military issued firearm, but only 10 bullets. You'll have to use them judiciously, since there is no way to get more. Ooh, that's pretty cool. Your time on the run from authorities has made you quick on your feet. You are 25% faster when sprinting. I mean, it says that, but if it's a time loop game, you'll always have 10 bullets at the start, right? I barely remember anything. Your recent head trauma has increased your pain threshold, making you 50% harder to take down. I kind of like the idea of just having a gun, to be honest. Though, like having an extra insight on the lore would be pretty cool, I guess. It's kind of boring. So we are not we going to be like a present day person in the ancient Rome. I thought it would we would be like one of the residents of that place. Archaeologist or soldier? Should I throw a coin? Yeah, let's do it. I'm gonna get one. All right, so it's gonna be heads for ancient ruins. I mean, ancient the archaeologist, and tails for the spy. So I got a coin from Turkey, lira. Let's try it out. And it's heads. I don't know if you can see it. Focus. Okay, well, it's heads. Yeah, we'll go for archaeologist then.
Oh, you're an archaeologist? Then you'll definitely want to hear this. I don't know if it's exactly what you're looking for, but there are some ruins just behind you. Roman, I think. I need you to go in there and see if you can find a guy named Al for me. He went in there a few hours ago, and he hasn't come out. I've been freaking out, wondering if he's trapped or injured or worse. I would have gone in after him, but he made me promise to stay here.
I have a giant
No matter
dragonfly
what.
over your head,
There's no
lady.
way I'm leaving without him. So I'm just kind of stuck here, waiting. What I mean is, I was hoping you wouldn't mind going in there to find him. If you can do that, I can get both of you back to civilization in my boat. Please?
Mind if I ask you if I ask some questions first?
Oh, of course. Sorry, I don't mean to be pushy. I just... What do you want to know?
Who the fuck are you? What's your story?
Oh, there's not much to tell. Feels like I've spent my whole life in a dead-end job with an endless commute. Know what I mean?
Is that how people talk? Endless commute? You're not even going to tell me your name?
Oh, I'd rather not say if it's all the same to you.
I don't mean to be pushy, but... Why don't you want to tell me?
All right, fine. Sorry if I sounded cagey, it's just that I don't always get the best reactions when I introduce myself. My name's Karen.
Was Karen meme already up in 2016? I don't know. I guess so. It's pretty old. Oh, yeah, I guess, yeah. Oh, those Karen memes have really ruined that name, huh?
Yeah, something like that. But right now, I have bigger problems, like finding Al.
Or maybe it's a lie. So she came up with this name to have an excuse why she was cagey about it. Who's Al?
He's the guy who washed up on the riverbank not long before you did. I thought maybe you two knew each other. I guess not. But maybe the two of you can piece together what you're doing here.
But
In
why
any case,
do you care
you'll
then?
like him, I'm sure.
What?
Once you find him, that is.
I thought it was your friend. That's why you are staying here to wait for him to come back. Like, why the hell are you just going to be on your own in the middle of the night, in the middle of the wilderness, as a girl? That's not realistic. Like, what? You unless you have some kind of motive staying here, it doesn't make any sense. Where are we?
You really don't remember? We're in Italy. This river is the Tiber.
What can you tell me about the ruins?
Not much, really. But imagine what you might find in there. Priceless ancient artifacts. Al.
What? Have you tried calling for help?
What am I, an idiot? You could hike a long, long way in any direction and never find another soul. Trust me.
You got here somehow, no? Like, what? In Italy? I don't believe that. You're not like in the middle of Siberia. That's all the questions I had.
Great. So you're ready to go look for Al?
No. Yeah. Why would I? I'll pass.
Are you serious? I just saved your life, and you can't do this one little thing for me. What kind of an Ugh. Look, if you won't do it for me, do it for yourself. You want to know what you're doing here, right?
No, I just want to get out. I'm going for the priceless artifacts, but I'll keep my eye on him. Would be funny if the game just ended. You just say, no, I actually just want to get home. Goodbye.
My hero. The entrance is just past those columns behind you. Oh, and he left this here. But I think you'll need it more than I will.
Well, quid pro quo. Is it though? Oh boy. What's up with the freezing? Yeah, I don't get what her deal is. If Al is just the same random guy as me, why would she just stay here?
The ruins are
Invisible
just beyond those
walls.
columns. Please, hurry.
A middle click flashlight. What a... Or it's a scroll? No. Uh. Yeah, scroll. What the... It's like... You can double scroll accidentally and... He puts it back. What a weird choice. I guess we'll try it for a bit, but maybe I'll change it later. Like, what? There wasn't enough buttons? So much complex systems that you needed to do that? You can only see the hands. It's not like full body. Inspect. A rusted metal torch, which must have been lit by Al. I'm going the right way. Sneaking. Like in Skyrim, it's a closed eye, and then the eye opens if somebody can see you. Here's just this. What does that mean? Sprint. Okay. Do we get extra stamina as a racial bonus? Can't expect that. Jump. Interesting. Is that an invisible wall or what? Yes, I think so. Yep. Oh, never mind. And it is. Oh my god. Ugh. So lame. Yeah, this is horrible. Come on, why would you... And I think oh, I almost got stuck. Why would you make it this way? Just let the person go wherever he wants. Or maybe we can't swim. But then, like, you could make a death if you want to. I don't know. It's kind of silly. Plus, like, there was swimming in Skyrim. A backpack full of worn hiking clothes and empty fruit packets. Nothing valuable here, but still, it seems strange that Al left it behind. Drag to examine. Okay, right. Is there anything to examine? To leave the item is F, to examine is E.
If you're reading this,
What?
it means I've discovered the entrance to an ancient Roman city hidden deep underground. Its existence is long forgotten, all knowledge of it lost, except in the Latin inscription here. It reads, "You who wish to enter the city, step forth and be judged. The virtuous shall be rewarded with eternal life in paradise. The wicked shall find themselves showered in gold, but in vain, for this shall be their final resting place. Could an underground city have remained a secret for all this time? Could people have survived down there, against the odds?
What?
Seems there's only one way to find out.
Wait.
I'm not back in an hour. I'm somewhere on the other side.
He...
Consider this an invitation, or a warning.
He thinks that
Alworth.
the people were all this time living their life underground for thousands of years. What a crazy idea. Instead of like, oh, there's probably a ruins in there. Ah. And there's performance issues. What are those? It's like fluorescent. Whenever you use fluorescent light, you can see like smudges. Why would it be here? Maybe like some kind of life forms. Glowing bacteria. Wish I had a gun. Would be a game changer. Instead, I have a flashlight. What the? What is this? Excuse me? How does this work? Huh? Ah, alright. Okay, from this angle we can also... And from this... What the fuck? This can't be intentional, right? It's just this part for some reason. So far. His backpedaling is so slow. And sidewalking. I don't like when I press read, he opens the door. Like, you can't expect certain things to happen whenever you press something. I just want to fucking see it first. Yeah. Meminis semper vigilabant. First one might be remember. Maybe last one owner. No, always remember they're watching. Vigilabant. Watching, I guess. But yeah, we got to remember, right? The ancient relic of 2016. What kind of cell phone is this? What cell phone probably belonged to Al, so of no use down here. Actually, could be pretty cool concept to have like a modern day person in the ancient Rome, and what kind of things they can do. Like if they had a cell phone, you could still have like a calculator working, or take pictures, right? What else can you like think of about? Like you can't have an internet, or you can't call, of course, but there are other functions you can use. Lighter could be cool. Those look very modern. I don't know if Romans actually produced such shoes. Like I would wear those right now. The fuck? Hmm. I'm stupidious. What are those? I think he wears some kind of shoes. Like, if there was a phone lying around, like this black tiny object, it could be something like that without any highlights anywhere. What the? Oh, it actually moves. Can I hit things somehow? I guess I could try to sprint. Yeah. Ancient what? An ancient Roman mosaic depicting a godlike figure turning a man into gold. Ah, good old Midas legend. So this is what it is. A young Roman woman in a pose of lamination. It sure is now. Alright, I have what I came here for. Let's go home. He has a feet in the wall. Alright, let's do it. Hiya! A Roman gladiator mid-stride. That could... What could have made a gladiator flee? Can you use your hands to open doors? What kind of barbarian are you? Oh. Oh my god. So, whenever it lags, I think it actually saves, but it never like shows or stops the game. It just does it. It's very jarring. Oh no, no. A young Roman woman. It looks like she was begging for her life. Would have light all these things up. I'll just like... For no reason. Or it's magic. Oh, can I get on the second floor? It's probably invisible walls again. No, I don't think so. Is there fire damage? Oh, it is. Alright, we know how health looks like. Will it regenerate? Wait, what if I get into a time loop and it's gonna be this health now? Shit. Oh! I knew that one of them moved ahead. Do it again. Would be more creepy if they did it when you were not looking, so you wouldn't know for sure. Huh, I think it might be programmed this way. Yeah. But for some reason, it didn't work properly. Alright. F5 quick save, F9 quick load, okay. There were games in ancient times where F5 and F6 were the buttons, and you could sometimes just hit a quick load. Can they all do that? A Roman military commander attempting to scramble away from something. So is this my mega power, or would I be able to tell that as a anybody else, not just archaeologists? Would be cool if like it specifically marked it as archaeologist thing, so I would know what I get. A Roman legionary in a state of terror. Invisible walls. Holy shit. Looks like that not Dark Souls, Elden Ring underground level. Literally. Yeah. Inconsistent. A Roman woman who appears to be praying for help that never came. Whoa. I think they might be also affected by invisible walls. Also, this is pretty strange. Like, the camera, it doesn't take into account anything. It's just like, oh, you stepped on this ladder, so we're gonna move your head immediately up. And just oh, come on.
To whoever reads this, I'm sorry you had to find me like this. And worse, you'll suffer the same fate I did. I've spent a lifetime in this place, going around and around in circles, searching for a way out. The inscription was right. There is no way back. In here, there are only two options: death, or that godforsaken doorway into the past. I made the mistake of stepping through it. I wanted to set things right. And I tried. I really tried. Whatever I did, it took me right back to the beginning. Don't make the same mistake. Better to end it all now and find out what awaits you beyond that portal.
Can't we just go back? I mean, he did just jump into that tube without even knowing that he would be fine in the end. There wasn't like a rope or anything, it's just a leap of faith. That's pretty weird, actually. But how... why did he... like, if he was stuck in the time loop, how did he appear here in the golden statue form? So whenever somebody dies in that time loop, but then wouldn't just time loop repeat itself anyway? How did he escape the time loop? Alright. Maybe there is an explanation for that. A golden statue of an old man wearing modern clothing. This must be Al, but how is that possible? And he managed somehow to leave the tablet. Ooh, ooh. Ooh. No. Can't. Why does it need to even show you the way to go? It's linear. Like you can't not go here. Wow. And who is this whisper? One man on his knees, as if begging his gods for mercy. Exploring. All right. It's the same place. Roman relief depicting a great circular portal and two women. I wonder who they could be. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought I was inspecting. But wouldn't you know, as an archaeologist and like historian of the Roman legends? Two women. Is there any goddesses that would fit that combo? There's like 3 sisters, but it's a different one. The Fates.
Salve, friend. I'm Galerius. Mind telling me who you are and what you were doing in the Shrine of Proserpina?
Why are you speaking English, my man? Wait, are you speaking English?
What? I'm speaking Latin. You are too, although your accent's a little strange. Oh, I see what you did there. Changing the subject like that. Nice try. But I'll ask again. Who are you, and what were you doing in the shrine?
Okay, so it would be cool if they actually spoke Latin and like there would be a translation, or they would start speaking Latin and then just got it changed just to see how it would sound. I'm Stupidius, and I got lost.
Oh, is that right? Well, just make sure you don't get lost in any other sacred places you're not supposed to be. Can't have you disrespecting the gods by accident, can we now? But listen, most folks seem a bit confused when they get here, but you seem very lost, and in more ways than one. So let me make this nice and simple for you. Live by our law here, and we'll all get along just fine.
Your laws?
Not laws, law. There's just one, the golden rule, and the punishment for breaking it's, well, it's kind of horrific. But our magistrate insists we take all newcomers to see him, so I guess I'll let him fill you in. So then, you coming?
Is it the golden rule, as in treat people how you would treat, how you want people to treat yourself, or is that some other rule? Because that one could be interpreted in all kinds of ways. Alright, lead the way.
Follow me. When I first arrived, I couldn't believe there were people living down here. But, as you can see, we've got a nice little community now.
I can just follow him.
Only 23 of us at the moment.
Okay, these stairs are fine. Like, you're not...
No idea how, since nobody knows
These are
how,
fixed.
But it's just big and dark enough to get lost in, if you're not careful.
Strange.
Aren't you going to introduce me to your handsome new friend, Galerius?
Keep it in your loincloth, Aurelia. I'm taking him to see the magistrate.
That pompous old bore won't be magistrate for much longer. Anyone who helps vote him out today drinks at my bar for free tonight.
Politics. I'd stay clear of it and her if I were you. She's, it's not my place to say.
A slut.
Down on your right is our farm, where I grow all the food you'll ever want. As long as all you want is leek, cabbage, and wheat. Huh. That one usually gets a chuckle.
The bloodless shadows wander without flesh or bone.
Ah, don't mind Livia. She means well. She's just been in a bad place since...
Is that...
Well, you know...
Is that the lady, the stranger, but older? I might have figured out like a giant
On your right
twist
is the
already.
chasm. If you've got
Would
a
be
weapon,
so
it
hilarious.
belongs way down at the bottom. Up on your left is the forum, where you can visit the market or get yourself patched up in Lucretia's clinic in the Shrine of Apollo. Most of us have almost nothing, just what we had on us when we arrived, and what we've been able to make and scrounge up since. And this central plateau is where the magistrate and the other patricians live, so don't expect a warm welcome.
Hilarious. You're meant to be working the farm, not trudging dirt into the villas.
Take it easy, Horatius. I was just taking our new friend here to see the magistrate.
Well, he's asked me to escort the newcomer personally. The farm. Go. Now.
You'd better go with him. Just remember, they're not like you and me. Don't let them use you.
What was that? What did you just say?
I said it'll take some getting used to.
Yeah, I'm watching you, farm boy. Greetings, citizen. My name's Horatius. Magistrate Sentius asked me to escort you to him personally. Follow me, please.
His voice is a bit muffled for some reason. Like it's much lower. What is this about?
I expect the magistrate wants to brief you about the Golden Rule. It shouldn't take too long. He's busy preparing for the election later today.
Alright, lead the way.
Follow me. The only thing you really need to understand right now is the Golden Rule. Let me see if I can explain it this way. When I was serving,
That wasn't a long pause.
if there was a mutiny brewing in one cohort, the legate in charge wouldn't waste time finding the bad apples among hundreds. They just divided us into groups of 10, made us draw straws, and whoever drew the short straw had to be executed by the other 9. Didn't matter whether he'd done anything wrong. One of us in 10 would die for the crimes of the collective.
Yeah, decimation, that was the word
We call it decimation.
I was looking for.
That seems like rough justice to you. You're in for a rude shock. Because the Golden Rule is exactly 10 times worse. The magistrate can explain the rest. Who's up these stairs?
citizen.
Am I citizen though? I just came here. I already got accepted by the
We're
city.
finally alone. I assume you already know who I am. May I know your name?
I'm Stupidus.
A curious name to match a curious accent. But I digress. I see you have the piercing and astute eyes of a man of great learning. We're always happy to welcome another scholar to our little community.
You figured out that I
We'll
was
be delighted to meet you, I'm sure.
anthropologist based on the look in my eye.
And I'll get to that. But first, take a look at this wondrous place, would you? A secret city built deep in the mountains.
This bush.
Hundreds of years ago.
It's beautiful.
Indeed. More importantly, consider the miraculous community we've built here over the last 7 months. 22 complete strangers brought together by the fates.
22.
Living and working together in our own little paradise. And in all that time,
Let me get my notes.
not a single sin has been committed. No fights, no theft, nothing. Have you ever witnessed something so extraordinary as a city without sin?
Okay, let me guess. So if you break one of the rules, everyone dies. That's the thing then. So it's not one golden rule. You have a bunch of rules, but there's a catch. Can't say I have.
Nor could I until I came here. But the reason for this miracle is as simple as it is terrifying. If even one person commits a sin here, every last one of us will die. You see, the builders of this place, whoever they were, left inscriptions warning, "The many shall suffer for the sins of the one." From what we can gather, breaking the law here will anger the gods and provoke a terrible punishment. Like the curses of Medusa and Midas combined,
Midas?
turning us all to gold. We've come to call it the Golden Rule. It's extraordinary that we've survived as long as we have, and each day I grow more and more afraid that our time in the sun is almost up. And now it seems that day is finally here. All that matters is that somebody in this city is about to break the
How do you know?
rule. Why else would Proserpina send you now? Unless
Proserpina?
I can stop them, our doom is assured. I know that's a lot to take in, and you look like you have questions. Please, ask away.
Like so far nobody wonders why I have these weird clothing. Completely outlandish. And have a flashlight. Tip. These questions will be available later. Okay. What counts as a sin here?
An intelligent question. There was a good deal of debate about that in our first weeks here. Does it refer to crimes or to some other ill-defined wrong?
So nobody even knows?
Of course, everyone agrees on the basics. No theft, no assault, and certainly no murder. But beyond that, it was more difficult to reach a consensus. What about lying, insulting someone, blasphemy?
I already lied, so
Trying to escape, bribery,
that's fine.
infidelity, suicide. As magistrate, I had to exercise leadership, and so I made a decision. We must uphold the laws of the Empire to a standard never before seen. And we must honor the peace of the gods, the sacred accord between the gods and the people of Rome. It is only by offering the gods the proper respect that we may prosper, as Rome has for centuries.
But like, how would you know that you're actually gonna all die from the wrath of the gods if there's no way to test it? Like, everybody gonna be dead unless, well, somebody else finds them, but they will not be able to really tell who's seen and how it exactly happened. I'm not sure if that's a good idea. What is legal isn't always moral, and many of your laws and customs are considered barbaric where I'm from.
Barbaric? Barbaric? What are you talking about? The Empire is the most civilizing force in the known world. Rome is a beacon of light in the darkness. For 800
can't
years, she has
stop
borne
this.
great statesmen, philosophers,
I think I want to up
poets,
the
artists,
volume a bit on
engineers.
voices.
We have comprehensive laws protecting the rights of our citizens, which have unified countless warring tribes all across the Mediterranean and beyond, from Gallia to Judea. All our citizens are treated the same,
What is Judea?
regardless of the color of their skin or
Jerusalem
their sexual
part?
preference. Can you say the same? When our people are starving, they are given food rations, and when they are wronged, they have the right to bring the guilty party before the magistrate. Our laws forbid treason, murder, assault, and rape, as well as theft and arson, and so on. No other civilization in the world is so advanced, and you have the hubris to call us barbaric?
Yeah, I don't think I can access the settings right now. Oh, let's go. Don't women have fewer rights than men?
Of course, but with fewer rights come fewer responsibilities, and the right to be protected by their fathers and husbands.
Don't your laws allow slave ownership?
Of course, what else would we do with those prisoners of war who would otherwise have been executed? And besides, there are laws for their protection as well.
Oh yeah, alright. Checks out. Don't your people watch blood sports for entertainment?
On occasion, but our gladiators are almost all volunteers seeking glory, or condemned prisoners who would have been executed anyway. I do not see the harm.
Don't you persecute Christians?
You mean the blasphemous cult responsible for burning down half of Rome last year? It's hard to blame the people for being angry about that.
Don't you practice collective punishment?
Are you talking about our practice of decimation? Of course. We could hardly unite all these warring tribes without a disciplined, formidable legion.
Where I'm from, we consider those things to be abhorrent.
Well, right now, you're a long, long way from home.
Stabs
I
you.
have made my pronouncement on the subject. Unfortunately, there are still those here who resist, whispering blasphemous and treasonous lies in the shadows. I would be keeping a close eye on them if I were you.
What did you mean when you said Proserpina sent me?
You see, in my search for a way to save my people, I learned of an ancient ritual to Proserpina, the goddess of the cycle of life and renewal. It's said to open a doorway in time, so that if the unthinkable happens, one person can pass through it and travel back to the past. And when I saw you arrive in a flash of light from the goddess's shrine, I knew that person was you. You don't belong in our time, do you?
Yes I do.
A pointless lie.
Oh, come on.
Please, tell me, in your time, what did you see?
You're crazy.
What had become of us? city.
Why can't I keep lying that I am not from that time? I didn't see anything.
Lie all you want, but I see the truth in your eyes.
Well, what's the point then? How does the ritual work? So, like, if you lie, they just not going to believe you and treat you as a person from the future anyway. So there's no, like, an extra branch in this timeline that creates, like, all kinds of different outcomes. It's just, like, a pointless choice, which kind of sucks, but we'll see what else is in store here. How does the ritual work?
All I can tell you is that it's a ritual sacrifice to Proserpina. I stumbled across instructions. I have to recite a prayer, and of course, as with all rituals, some sacrifice is involved. Usually that means wine or food, or in some cases a live animal. In this case, the sacrifice is rather more costly. The life of the person performing the ritual. I don't suppose you saw any sign of me in the future?
I can't even lie anymore. I did see the human remains in the temple.
I assume that was me. If I'm forced to perform the ritual, it's going to cost me everything. You'll try to make sure I don't need to use it, won't you?
I can't promise anything.
Well, thank you for your candor, I suppose.
Why can't you investigate?
Well, I believe you're in the best position to go around asking people questions. You're new here, and it'll seem perfectly normal. As for me, well, it pains me to say my attempts to impose order have not earned me many friends. I fear I may not even remain magistrate after today's election. The people here would only treat my curiosity with suspicion. You shouldn't have that problem, though, unless, of course, you get off on the wrong foot.
Fair enough. Do you have any suspects?
Do you ever stare at a problem for so long that you can't see it for what it is anymore? What's needed here is a fresh pair of eyes. The less I prejudice the independence of your investigation, the better.
Why does he even suspect that there's something? Just because a person been sent? How do I know you're not the person responsible?
Me? Why would you suspect me? I've just told you, I'm about to sacrifice my own life to ensure these people have a second chance.
I don't know about that.
You possibly have to suspect me, of all people. I'm glad you think so. Without trust, without each other, we won't be able to prevent what is about to happen.
Come on, tell me what you really think.
Well, all right. There are those who wish to vote me out of office so that they can pursue their own misguided political agenda. Frankly, their selfishness and recklessness risk destabilizing the entire city. I would be looking very carefully at them if I were you.
If I do this, will you help me to get back to my own time?
If I understand Proserpina's ritual correctly, that problem should take care of itself. Let me see if I can explain. If you manage to prevent the sin that breaks the Golden Rule, I won't need to bring you here. I won't create the portal, and you will never have been able to come here. Thus, you'll have created a paradox. If this occurs, you should be flung back to your own time, having changed the past for all of us. Make sense?
Okay. Sure, why not?
Ah, good. So, are you with me? Can I count on you to figure out who's about to break the golden rule?
It's not like I have a choice.
No, I don't suppose you do. But I'm hoping that even if you're not burdened with a sense of self-sacrifice, you'll at least see the sense in self-preservation.
Good point. I mean...
Wonderful. Now, I need you to investigate the city, talk to everyone, help them if it'll win their trust. I authorize you to enter private homes and inspect possessions and documents, unless, of course, you're asked to leave. Figure out who the culprit is, and as soon as you have a name, come back and tell me immediately.
Alright, I'll get started.
Oh, and one last thing. If I were you, I'd start my investigation by visiting Lucretia at the Shrine of Apollo in the Forum. I heard wailing from there not long ago. Seems like something's not right.
I'll get right on it. Right, less invisible walls. I feel like the first part was really unpolished, but the time loop itself seems fine so far. So, does the time tick? Actually, like, can I even tell? Is there a sundial of some sort? Like, while we talk, does time go? Or, like, is it full 24 hours? Well... Would I even need money, is the question. Okay, so there is like 200 dinars in this chest, if I ever need it. Lararium. A small household shrine where ancient Romans offered daily prayers for protection. Note from Scintilla. Oh, you can actually read it. There's no pages. I like I like this idea actually, to have a summary for people who don't want to read the full thing. Scintilla to Centius, my Jupiter Optimus Maximus, continue to protect and guide you. May. Thank you for making me your daughter and for the lovely birthday pendant. I promise I will wear it always. I feel so safe and fortunate to have you as my father and Cynthia as my sister. I sense you've been feeling apprehensive about the election next month. But if you can just show them the strong and dependable man I know you to be, you will be re-elected. I'm sure of it. Okay, there is Scintilla, who is adopted daughter of this guy. And then he also has Cynthia. Okay, easy to remember, I guess. Uh-oh. Okay, these stairs are not good. Stranger.
Oh, another one Someone fresh out of the baths, I take it.
Well, she actually also kind of looks like the first stranger.
Ugh, I wish Horatius would stop letting barbarians in here.
Just with
What do you
different
want?
haircut. What's your story?
I'm Sentia, eldest daughter of the magistrate. But you'd know that if you'd been invited in here and introduced properly. What are you doing in here? And why are you dressed like that?
I'm not from around here. Well, can we... It seems like we can't really lie, because he already told the magistrate that he saw, like, golden statues, whatever, then. So, like, confirming that he was lying all along. Charming.
I'm Sentia, eldest daughter
Wait.
of the magistrate. What are you doing?
So you even though it's time loop game, you still can repeat the lines, the asking person the same question the second time. Ah, come on, why? Like it's bad, but like for the role-playing games, it just makes it easier for people to repeat the information, so they don't need to like go into history or things like that. But like if you already have time loops, you don't need to do that. You can go for the immersiveness.
Really? I'd never have noticed, what with your flawless accent, appropriate attire, and impressive mastery of our customs. Now, remind me, why are we having this conversation?
Do you know a way out of here?
Ugh, what is it with you people? You heard the rumor that my little sister escaped and figure I must know a way out too. Is that it? Well, that's just a stupid rumor. We have no idea what happened to Scintilla. I wish you mouth breathers would just leave me alone.
Wait, somebody escaped and he didn't mention it? Can I help?
I don't know. Can you? Can you tell me how a person could have disappeared from a city with no exits and no crime? Was she snatched away?
There's no
by
exits.
carpenters?
What a weird concept. Your father didn't mention any of this when I spoke to him. Any idea why?
That doesn't surprise me. To him, it was like a prize cow wandering off from its paddock. He's upset, of course, but he says he's too busy with the election to help look for her. So he's letting Horatius do the heavy lifting. Some good that's done.
You look surprisingly relaxed about your sister's
I
disappearance.
hope you're not insinuating I'm somehow pleased with her disappearance.
I think you know something you're not telling me.
Ugh, you're awful. Get out of my villa and never speak to me again. Do I need to ask Horatius to escort you out of here? Get out, you horrid barbarian!
Ah, shit.
Fear is proof of a degenerate mind.
Okay. Audio. Hmm. Onions, apples, appear. What is this purple thing? It's like purple carrots. Hmm. A Roman fire shovel made of bronze. It smells like ash. It's no doubt unpleasant cooking with such poor ventilation, but Romans probably regard that as their servant's problem. These carrots are purple, as they were before modern orange carrots were cultivated. Really? I didn't know that. What the... I need to check that out.
Keep an eye out for Scintilla, would you?
Tap X for a guide to your objective marker. I just want to explore. Let's check his house a bit more. Sculpture of Ares, the Greek god of war, known to the Romans as Mars. Small vial containing a rudimentary perfume made from flowers and oil. Or is it? A brass jar containing some sort of powder for makeup. Dear diary, today my father suggested I write a diary as a way of keeping myself occupied while we all deal with the sudden and devastating disappearance of my sister. As a dutiful daughter, of course, I shall oblige. The following pages contain my innermost secrets. I know you're reading this, father. I may be young, but I do not think me stupid. We're all entitled to our secrets, Cynthia. What a waste of paper. Brass mirror. You can't see the reflection though. The brass has been polished into a rudimentary mirror which has been used for applying makeup. I still don't get the two hases. Gnariosis. 17 there.
Behavior, I trust.
But is that the same kitchen? Oh, never mind. Servant's room. Who's the servant? Wait. For flowers and oil. It's the same. Scintilla. Wait, what? That's their room. No doors. Okay, so that's Saint's room.
Fear is proof of a degenerate mind.
Kitchen. Because he's again very modest in terms of the size.
best behavior, I trust?
Shut the hell up.
What now?
Who is the servant? Is there a servant? Somebody must work at the kitchen. Actually, if there's only 22 people in the city, how does this function even? You gotta be all working in agriculture. There's like 2 daughters who probably do not even do anything. There's 1 guard who protects the magistrate. What's your story?
I'm a legionary of the 1st Italica, but there's not a lot of fighting down here. So the magistrate has assigned me other duties. I act as the magistrate's right-hand man, keeping an eye on his daughters. Daughter, I should say. And the others. And making sure they're all behaving.
It's still
I
it's
also
still
keep a register
very
of your
low
arrivals.
sounding. I don't know, maybe it's just this guy. How did you end up here?
I'm from Liguria, up north originally. I was doing alright for myself. 12 years into my service. Had a nice girl lined up for when it was all over. Not anymore. She's probably figured I'm long gone and moved on by now. I try not to think about it. My commander sent me to deliver a message to Rome. While I was there, I thought I'd do something nice for my girl. And pick up a little pendant from a silversmith. That's when the crowd started flooding through the streets, shouting fire. People were screaming, trampling each other. Then some Genetricum fugitor tried to take advantage of the chaos and pinch my pendant. I remember chasing him through the crowds,
What?
down towards the river. And then, nothing. Blacked out and woke up near here. No idea how I ended up floating so far downriver. But I'm fortunate to be alive, I suppose.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Ah, don't be. As Seneca the Younger said, difficulty strengthens the mind, as labor does the body. That said, Centilla's disappearance has been more difficult than I'd care to admit.
What can you tell me about the magistrate?
He's one of the better commanders I've ever had, that's for sure. Good stoic. Lives by Seneca's words. Treat your inferior as you would wish your superior to treat you. Can't ask for much more than that.
Do you know a way out of here?
I went around asking the same questions when I first arrived. Never did find a way out. But I learned how to accept my situation. To bear trials with a calm mind robs misfortune of its strength and burden. That's from Seneca the Younger, if you're interested.
Can I see the citizen register? What does that mean?
I don't see why not. Just make sure I get it back by tomorrow.
Oh, is that all the people? Oh, really? Class commoner. Tavern keeper. Tavern slum. Claims to know a way out. Okay. Claudia Patrician, wife of Malleolus. Waters Villa Central. Decius. Commoner Merchants Forum. Domitius, Commoner Malleolus's Guard Slum. Duilius, Commoner unable to work Slum, imprisoned in warehouse. Equitia, Patrician, Vestal Priestess, Villa Lower. Fabia, Commoner Baker Slum. Galerius, Commoner Farmer Slum. Giorgio, Foreigner, Merchant Clothes, Forum. Hannibal, Foreigner, Forage for scrap. Slum died in cistern. Horatius, commoner guard slum. That's you. Habash. I would think he would stay in the house that he guards, but I guess he lives somewhere else. Habash, foreigner, fisherman, slum, disappeared. Julia. Or Yule? Is it J or I? Debt bondsman to Malleus. Villa Middle. Livia. Commoner, hairdresser, slum. Now refuses to work. Hairdresser? Come on, you can't be serious. Foreigner, nurse, slum. Money lending. There's still money with 22 people. Malleus. Patrician. Not to be trusted. Naevia. Commoner physician. Locked herself in palace. Octavia. Patrician. A lot of patricians. Cleaning, guarding. Villa lower. Wait, what's patrician? I thought it was like an upper class, no? She's doing cleaning and gardening? Rufus, commoner, patrol, slum, increasingly agitated. Also, I wouldn't put guards in commoner class. I would put them in like militia class. Sentia, patrician, pupil. Restricted to her villa for her safety. Scintilla, patrician, pupil. Villa upper missing. Sentius, patrician, magistrate, villa. Ulpius, commoner, debt bondsman to Malleus. Villa middle. Virgil, commoner, architect, forum. Hebe. Thanks.
Of course.
What do you think about the golden rule?
Well, as I always say, it's kind of like a divine version of the practice of decimation in the Legion. By threatening to execute 1 in 10 men, the idea is to ensure order and discipline among everyone. And it works. If you knew you could be executed because your brother-in-arms is planning a mutiny, well, you'd bloody well watch him like 100-eyed Argus, wouldn't you? Because your only chance of saving yourself is to stop bad things before they happen. Makes us all responsible for keeping each other in check. It's brutal, of course, but effective. The Legion wouldn't be the most formidable force in the world without it.
Where I'm from, that would be considered collective punishment, which is a war crime.
A war crime? Isn't that a contradiction in terms? As Cicero said, in times of war the law falls silent.
Our worlds are very different.
Seems that way. War crimes. Ridiculous.
I mean, even now, the war does not follow the rules of like Geneva Convention, so it is pretty ridiculous. Are you saying you're in favor of it?
What's done is done. I was forced to execute my brothers in arms, and those memories will always visit me in my sleep. But life is harsh, and I've come to accept my lot. As with the Golden Rule, I don't have any control over it. So railing against it would be like trying to stop the seasons or the tides. As Seneca the Younger wrote, true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future, not to amuse ourselves with either hopes or fears, but to rest satisfied with what we have, which is sufficient. For he that is so wants nothing.
This guy.
If you like.
A big fan of Seneca. Who are you going to vote for?
Not that it's any of your business, but my loyalty is and always will be with Sentius. Unfortunately, I don't think my vote is going to make any difference today. See, Domitius has been going around town, shoring up votes for Malleolus with lies, bribery, and intimidation. The man's a savage, but he's a gladiator, so people fear and respect him more than they should. Sentius knows about it, of course, but he doesn't have the same rat cunning as Malleolus. This place will be different with that sleaze at the helm. But I try not to worry about things I can't change.
Can I help?
I appreciate the thought, but you're new here, and I just can't see how you could make an impact in the time between now and the election this afternoon. In any case, if you're interested
This
in the election,
afternoon?
go and have a chat with Equitia, the Vestal Priestess. She'll be overseeing proceedings. All right?
Oh shit! I thought that would be a an invisible wall as always. From last save. It was when we talked with him. Oh. Oh my god. What the hell? I guess I should just smack quick saves all the time. Jesus. Hints. Toggle on or off receiving helpful whispered hints for some puzzles. This is for players who prefer to figure out puzzles on their own. You mean not? Yes, I don't want that shit. Quest notifications enabled. I don't know if receiving quest notifications as you complete them. Sure. Objective markers, I guess. Crosshair visibility. Simulation sickness, what? There's no gameplay options? Like autosave? Yeah, I need to just do it myself all the time. Okay, I read it. And I need to talk to that Sentia and the guard. God.
I'm Sentia. What are you? Well, I don't know. Can you tell me how a person could have disappeared?
Oh wait, I never picked that option. When did you last see her?
It was 3 weeks ago. We ate our evening meal together, and I remember she seemed happy.
In love. We went into our rooms, I went to sleep, and when I woke up, she was gone. That's it.
She was seeing someone?
I think so, yes. But she was very careful about keeping his identity a secret, even from me.
Why is that? But somebody else disappeared in the city during that night? That would be pretty easy to figure out now.
Because our father had plans to marry her off, eventually. And
Dude,
a rumor about her attachment to some
there's so
mystery
little
man might
people.
have ruined those plans.
Your father didn't mention any of this when I spoke to him. Any idea why?
That doesn't surprise me. He's up.
Is it possible her lover was involved?
I don't know. But it's been 3 weeks since she disappeared, and he hasn't come forward. That might speak to a guilty conscience. All I know is...
Wait, 3 weeks?
Whoever he is, he's still here in the city.
Sentila, why your names are also so familiar?
You really aren't from here, are you? All Roman women are named after their fathers. I think it's their way of branding us, like cattle to be sold at market. His family name is Sentius, so I'm Sentia because I'm the eldest. And my little sister is formerly Sentia Minor, but she is affectionately known as Sentilla.
You look surprisingly relaxed about your sister's disappearance.
I hope you're not insinuating I'm somehow pleased with her disappearance.
Are you?
Oh, you're awful. Get out of my villa and never speak to me again.
You are jealous. Alright, I'll talk to the guard. Where's the guard? Where did the magistrate go? Okay, it didn't really lag when I was quick saving. Well, I guess we just keep going.
Are they? Ah, you've returned. Do you have any news about your investigation?
What? What's your story?
Sextus Sentius Imperiosus is my name, though magistrate is the proper way to address me. Before I wound up here, I was a decurion in the cavalry of Imperial Rome, helping protect civilization from the barbarians.
What is the Kurin?
It's a cavalry officer. I had 30 men under my command. This was my uniform.
Like, so far there hasn't been like a single meaningful choice. Like, it's such a slow game. I don't know if there's going to be even that. We'll see, but like it doesn't have this hook. It doesn't have hook. It just like goes very slowly. And so far linear. Why are you still wearing it?
As magistrate, I usually wear a toga, but today I may need to survive long enough to create the portal for you, so it seemed prudent.
You just changed real quick, because I appeared minutes before we met you. How did you end up here?
My men and I were at the Emporium in Rome as honor guard for a visiting dignitary arriving upriver by barge. Now the port is usually bustling, but just as our guests arrived, Waves of people began running toward the river from streets and alleyways in every direction. They were trying to escape a terrible fire. Unfortunately, the crowd sent my horse into a panic, and I remember it losing its footing by the water's edge.
Did the
Next
horse
thing I
survive?
knew, I was waking up on a riverbank not far from here in the company of some stranger. I went looking for my horse and discovered that lonely temple. You can probably figure out the rest.
How did you come to the magistrate?
I was elected 7 months ago, uncontested because of my command experience. Since then, there's been growing agitation for another election. They're supposed to be annual, but I agreed to hold it sooner, hoping it would placate my constituents. Unfortunately, it just seems to have emboldened certain elements instead.
Let's talk about something else.
Very well. If I did, I'd have led these people out of here already.
What do you think about the golden rule?
I've had plenty of time to think about it. Let me see if I can sum up my thoughts. I've always considered my guiding star to be the well-being of the Roman people. Our survival and prosperity have always hinged upon honoring the peace of the gods, the sacred accord between the gods and the people of Rome. Give the gods what they want and we all prosper. Dishonor them and we all die. It's as simple as that. The real enemy in this place is not the golden rule, but human failings. The temptation to slide into degeneracy, greed, and hubris. I trust that answers your question. Ask then.
What about the disappearance of your daughter that you never told us about?
Good. Now, thank you. I'll be waiting.
Okay, so now he's here.
Fear is proof of a degenerate mind. What now? I'm a legionnaire. Don't be. As Seneca the Younger said, difficulty strength. That said, he's one of. I don't. Of course.
Dinks.
Well, a war crime. See, what's done is as with. If not them sent it this place. I appreciate it. All right.
Quick save.
Are they?
So you could just throw yourself off the cliff. Ooh. Wait.
What were you two talking about?
Sure you would.
Play dumb. I saw you. Having a shady little chat with old man Sentius up on his balcony. What's he offering you? Money? Favours? What's your vote worth to him?
What's it worth to you?
A spit of a fauna career. We've lined up all the votes we need already. Mark my words, Malleolus is going to be magistrate by the end of the day. And if I tell him you've sided with that feeble old has-been, that you've been trying to undermine his hard-won victory, you'll have picked the wrong patron. Got it?
I don't want any trouble.
Good. Then stay out of it.
Fine. Mind if I ask some questions?
Can't hurt.
What's your story?
The name's Domitius. You want to get to Malleolus, you go through me.
I'd like to meet Malleolus.
Too bad. He's busy. Unless... No. You don't look like you could afford it.
Afford what?
I'm glad you asked. See, he's a busy man, and this is an important day. He'll be inside practicing his victory speech for tonight. Left me strict instructions he doesn't want to be disturbed. So if you want to see him, I'll need something valuable in return.
Isn't soliciting bribes a sin?
Bribe? That's such an ugly word. What I'm looking for is more of a tribute to me, your soon-to-be patron.
Alright, what do you want?
Dunno. Something good.
I'll see what I can do.
Just make it good.
What do you think about the golden rule?
I think it's gone on long enough, and Malleolus is going to put an end to it once he's elected.
How is he going to do that?
He's going to announce it in his victory speech. Just you wait and see.
Sounds great. Can I help in some way?
We've already lined up the votes he needs to win. Just stay out of our way, and we won't have a problem.
Do you know a way out of here? Well, this is a stupid
When
question.
Malleolus wins the election, yeah, this place will change. You won't even want to leave. You'll see. Malleolus, of course. If old man Sentius can't even protect his own daughter, how can we trust him to protect us? Whatever. Just remember, I'll be watching.
Whatever. Sentius and Malleolus. Same excrement, different smell. Who's this home? Why can't I just barge in anyway?
Hey, you're not thinking about going into the cistern, are you?
But how did you know? No, not really no.
Good. You'd be eaten alive, little runt like you.
Eaten by what?
Nobody's told you about Hannibal? Ugh, why do I have to do everything round here? So, there was this guy called Hannibal, right? Funny accent. Used to go down into the cisterns looking for junk he could clean up and sell. One day, a few weeks back, he comes out and tells me the cisterns are haunted. Said he could hear spirits wailing. Of course, nobody believed him, because who trusts a Carthaginian, right? Anyway, a few days later, he goes back in. And hours go by, and he hasn't come back out, yeah? So I go down after him, and it's dark. But in the distance, I can just make out his body, sprawled out on the ground. And hunched over him was something that made my blood run cold. No word of a lie. I saw a creature. like the corpse of a man who'd been flayed. And it was eating Hannibal.
Whoa. Wouldn't that have broken the golden rule?
If it was a man, maybe. But I swear on my life this was no man. More like a Strix, or some Versipelus that feeds on human flesh. I didn't stick around to see which.
What did you do?
What any sane person would have done. I legged it out of there and put a sign at the door to warn the others.
Maybe I'll give it a mission.
Good idea.
I thought that was leading to his boss. Danger. Don't enter the cistern. See the meteors. Dum 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 dum. Ah, they thought of everything. Climbable if only they could support my weight. Come on. The hell? Some weird lightning. Oh, there's a way there. Other side. God damn it. Can you climb? Like sometimes, oh, on the tree. Okay. Jesus. Oh. God damn it. I can't tell if I could actually get there. Ow. Like, it seems like they have the system of climbing up, but you can't really tell where that system is. That might be a problem for future. Like, it works here, or worked once. Oh.
I'm afraid this area is private. I must ask you to leave.
She looks exactly like the sister.
A new face. Ave, and may Vesta watch over you. I'm Equitia. To what do I owe the pleasure of this visit?
I don't know. What's your story?
Oh my. I take it people are quite direct where you're from. I suppose it's quite charming in its own way. Usually, however, you wouldn't simply march up to a Vestal priestess and without due formality or courtesy ask, "What is your story?"
Sorry, what should I have done?
The proper approach would be to arrange an introduction through a mutual acquaintance in high office.
by which time you would already know how to address me. And then you would find a way to satisfy your curiosity rather more indirectly. But to be honest, I've often thought what an unnecessarily formal way to communicate that is. So, let's do it your way. You just keep being yourself and ask whatever you like. It'll be a refreshing change.
How did you end up here?
No, I'm not entirely sure. But what about you? How did you end up here?
A young woman named Karen dragged me out of the river unconscious and sent me in here.
Karen, you say? And nothing about that name seemed odd to you?
It's an older name, but nothing in common where I'm from.
Older. I see. I wonder if... No.
What were you going to say?
I apologize. I don't mean to be cryptic. It's just that you've got me thinking. Have you spoken with any of the others about how they arrived here too? I really think you should. Go around and ask them what they remember and see if you notice any...
Well, how about you start with your story? You're being a bit of a coy.
I know. I just don't want to see what happened to Livia happen to you too.
Olivia?
Up until a few weeks ago, she was a perfectly productive member of our little community, darning clothes and cutting hair. She was always so chatty, always seeking out newcomers and asking them where they were from and how they wound up here. And then, about a month ago, she suddenly changed. She withdrew, stopped working and became despondent, started muttering to herself. Galerius and I visited her to see how we could help, but she just looked at us with this haunted stare, called us bloodless shadows, and told us we were ignorant of some pattern. Look, it could be unrelated. Perhaps she simply fell ill. Or, as Galerius suggested, the weight of the golden rule was too much for her. But there is a small chance that she learned something, saw a pattern nobody else saw, and that it broke her. I just don't want to see that happen to you. So be careful, will you? Thank you. Now, go and follow the thread of truth through this labyrinth, and come back to me if you discover any patterns.
I'll get right on it.
Come back to me once you've acquainted yourself with the rest of our neighbors.
Now.
Ave again. Did you find what you need?
Do you know a way out of here?
I don't, I'm afraid. It seems to me we're exiled here until the gods judge us, one way or another.
What do you think about the Golden Rule?
I'm quite sure it's the work of the gods, which is strange because they've never been particularly concerned with our misdeeds, as long as we've kept the peace of the gods. We asked for blessings, for good health, bountiful harvest, military victory, and in return, we offer praise, wine, incense, or animals. But here, it seems they require much more of us. I find myself reminded of an especially pertinent tale from our great poet Ovid in his epic Metamorphoses. Would you like to hear it? It is rather long.
Oh boy. Sure.
Wonderful. It goes like this. Baucis and Philemon were an old married couple living a humble life in a small town. One night, the town gets a visit from a couple of vagrants. They go from door to door, asking for a place to stay the night. Of course, being vagrants, they're turned away sharply from house after house, 1,000 in all, until finally they come to the little cottage where Baucis and Philemon lived. Now, the kind old couple had very little to offer, but nevertheless, They invite these strangers into their house and offer them food, wine, and a place to stay. Immediately, the guests make themselves at home. They begin gulping down the old couple's wine, so much so that Borsis, the old lady, begins to worry they're going to run out. And then she notices something strange. Her wine pitcher keeps refilling itself, as if by magic. Realizing only a select few possess such powers, says to her husband, Philemon, "I think these men are gods in disguise." Immediately, the couple begins apologizing for offering such coarse wine, and the vagrants metamorphosize and reveal themselves to be Jupiter, the king of the gods, and Mercury, the trickster god. They confide they didn't mind the meager offerings. They were just pleased that someone in the town offered them hospitality. Then Jupiter says to them, "You have passed our test, but everyone else in this city failed, so we are going to destroy this place and everyone in it, except you, who we will grant a wish." So old Borsis and Philemon escape up into the mountains safely, and they receive their wish, which is for eternity together. Meanwhile, Jupiter carries through with his threat and wipes that city off the map. Some say the moral of that story is that we must all honor the sacred rituals of guest friendship, the reciprocal obligations owed between hosts.
Because otherwise the gods will come and kill you all.
It's that we should always show compassion for those less fortunate than ourselves.
But let's say if there weren't gods, and it would actually just be a bunch of hobos that would do something bad to your family. Or perhaps it's that the gods might kill you at any moment for failing their test, and they don't even have to tell you what the rules are.
A cynic philosopher might take that view, but it's not entirely invalid, I suppose.
Was cynicism already in use at that time? What's the status of the election?
It must be completed by dusk, just the same as any other official business. It'll be between...
I think it was like a Greek or
and
one of the
Helios,
ancient people.
Why do you ask?
Was called Cynicus or something. Who's allowed to vote?
All of the male citizens who are willing and able to attend.
So no women.
Of course.
The women can't vote.
That's just the way it's always been, I'm afraid. It never sat right with me either. There are some women who can vote, Vestal priestesses like myself, but in this case, given my role overseeing the election, I've decided to abstain. I can't allow the perception that I'm being anything but fair and independent, but if it's any consolation, there are other ways to influence the outcome of an election.
Such as?
By using whatever gifts the gods gave you. Nothing untoward, of course.
Can I nominate myself? What's your role in the election?
I'm responsible for announcing it and making sure the procedures are followed.
Like, all the women so far look very similar, almost the same face. Like, I would not be able to make out any difference if you put them up together. Can I nominate another candidate?
You can, assuming they're eligible and willing to accept the nomination.
What makes one eligible? Can we start the election now? No.
Certainly. Come back to me once you've acquainted yourself with the rest of our neighbors.
Alright, there's going to be a lot of talking, it seems like. Jesus. Note to Octavia. An anonymous friend to Octavia. May the Lord bless and keep you. I'm sorry I could not risk discussing this with you in person, but if I am right, then you are a believer like me. You may not be able to worship openly here, but know that you are not alone. If you ever feel like you need someone to pray, there's a special place waiting for you deep in the caves behind the theater. Turn right at the first fork and again at the second. Enter the caves behind the theater, then turn right at the first fork and the second. And didn't update any quests. Alright, we'll try to remember. Well, actually gotta go now. Gotta run. Alright, so far, not really impressed by anything, but maybe it's gonna get better. It's a lot of talking, not a lot of going on so far, and we didn't really get the hook, like what it is about, and like any meaningful choices so far haven't been reached. How long is this game, I wonder, too? Like, if it's actually just like 24 hours cycle, or a very, very long cycle, it will take like a long time for us to reach these parts. We'll see. We'll see. It's could be promising. Shut the hell up. Right. See you around.